Get your ears wrapped around the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast. All the scoop you need to know, from college basketball to the NBA and even March Madness. News of your rising stars, topics on and off the hardwood. This is the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to the GSMC Basketball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, as always, Jeff Melanoff, and with me is Mark Souza. We got some good stuff on board for today. We got Giannis and James Harden facing each other off, Rockets and Bucks, as well as a little fun little pass.
Facing each other off. I see what you did there.
Yeah, and we'll talk about what else happened, probably the funniest thing in the NBA so far this year between those two. As well as we'll talk about mid-season awards. We're about midway point through the season now, so we should give our mid-season awards, as well as our power rankings. As well as our power rankings for this mid-season, and any other on the fourth segment, as always, nips, tips, tricks, and other things we missed.
Nips? Did you say nips?
Well, it's to rhyme with other things we missed.
Nips, like with an N, right?
Yeah, like. Trips, quips, nips. It's not what you think.
Oh, well, that was just a weird thing to say.
Yeah, whatever. I am weird. Anyways, what was I saying? Right.
Nips.
Let's go right into the Rockets and Bucks as they face each other off.
You said it again. Another pun. Faced.
Ever seen Face Off with Nicolas Cage?
I have, and John Travolta, right?
Yeah, I know someone that references Face Off a lot. He's on YouTube. His name is Matt from I forget what it's from, like Best Friends Play, or so it's like a Let's Play like video games thing. And he keeps saying like it's like Face Off, and he keeps bringing up Face Off, and the guy he does it with gets super pissed every time he brings it up because he keeps bringing up Face Off. So,
interesting.
Anyways, I like that movie. Did you?
I haven't seen it in a long time. It's pretty old. It's like what? 20 years old? 15 years old?
God, has it really been that long?
I feel like it has.
It really... and it's hard to tell like who the protagonist and antagonist is at some points because they're both the villain and the hero playing the... I liked it. Do you think that actually works? A perfect face-off?
1997.
Was it really?
Years, yes.
Wow, it can legally drink.
They got a 7.3 on IMDb, 92% Rotten Tomatoes.
That's a good rating.
That's a big difference.
Well, it's 7 point something out of 10, correct?
That's why I was shocked that Bohemian Rhapsody won when it got such a low score on all of the sites. It wasn't terribly low, but like just average scores, average.
I think people expected more to that, but I like the movie.
But it won. It won the award.
Well, when I think of Best Picture, sometimes I think of just how it looks. Mm-hmm. And, like, when he was at Live Aid, it looked pretty great. Like, it looked like that was actually Freddie Mercury at Live Aid,
Uh-huh.
So that's my opinion for, like, Best Pictures, how it looks, not, like, just the movie.
Yeah. Is that what it is? That, like, what they...
I always assume that's what it meant. Best Picture. Like, I thought Best Movie would be just like Best Movie. Or Best Film.
I think that's the Best Movie, though, right? It's Best Picture, right?
I'm not entirely sure, but I think the look of it also, in the environment it is in.
Yeah.
I'm feeling that had a lot to do with it.
It goes to the producers of the film. That's who actually wins it.
Mm-hmm.
But interesting.
If it was Best like Movie, it would go to the actors, wouldn't it?
But I mean...
It's best production.
I don't know all the awards.
The best production, but I don't really watch it, so I'm assuming you watch it with your wife.
Yeah, sometimes. I don't watch every single award show, but
I'm not a big award show guy. I only watch like all the sports awards, like the ESPYs and stuff. I don't even watch the ESPYs that much. Anyways, let's move on. We are going to continue talking about the Rockets and the Bucks.
Speaking of movies, the movie between the Rockets and the Bucks, right?
No.
Giannis, the movie, the MVP,
the Greek
movie.
Freak versus the Beard. Hence why we named this episode Greek Freak versus the Beard.
But nobody cares about how the game went. Everybody only cares about the
one
play.
thing. And he tried to pass the ball to the guy that was open at the corner for the three, but he hit Harden right in the face. I still think it might have been intentional.
100-mile-an-hour fastball to the dome in the face.
I still think it was intentional. I would not be surprised if he came out and said, I intentionally hit Harden right in the face.
Giannis isn't that kind of guy.
I know, but Harden, like everyone's saying Harden flopped. I think
he didn't flop. He got hit. He got drilled in the damn face. If anybody says he flopped, let me throw a basketball at you as hard as I can. And by the way, I can't throw the ball as hard as Giannis, but let me throw it at you right in the face from 15 feet and see.
It hit him in the cheek. I don't think it hit him in the nose.
It hit him square in the head, though. Like, it didn't glance
off. Oh,
it
was a headshot. Have you seen those? I saw a meme where he did that, and it did the wasted thing from Grand Theft Auto. Like, wasted.
I mean, he did go down slowly, but I would have put my hand on the ground too. I got to take a second to get my bearings there after I get hit in the face like that hard, Mm-hmm. I mean, the surprise aspect alone, you don't expect being out there on the court and getting hit by a ball that hard. You might get hit by an elbow. Right. You might get hit by the ball.
I'm watching it again to see if it looked intentional. See, why is Harden even at the box at the bottom of the key? Like, shouldn't he be a little closer to the guy at the 3-point line?
Mm-hmm. No. He's in the right position.
Oh, they're playing zone or they're playing man?
I mean, but even if he's playing man, he's still in the right spot. He's guarding. He did what he was supposed to do. He blocked the passing lane. I mean, that was his job.
Technically, yeah. That's probably the best defense he's done all year.
That's true.
Yeah, he's still
Defensive Player of the Year. Spoiler alert, he's
not
my Defensive Player of the Year when we do our awards in segment 2. Stick around for segment 2.
By the way, at the end of the play, Giannis gets the ball back, passes it to the top of the key, and then they drain a 3.
Mm-hmm.
So this play actually worked very well.
If it was drawn up,
I see what happened. He looked just as he was passing the ball, like he was looking at the other player, looking like, he's passing it to him, and then it hit him right in the dome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's funny. I hope he's okay, overall, but I think it's funny.
It's definitely the funniest thing that I've seen in sports in 2019. Yep.
Wow.
Definitely in the NBA too. I can't even think of.
I think that's pretty good, actually.
I can't even think of something that I've seen in the NBA that was funnier than that. At least recently. In the last couple of years.
Watching Shaq and a Fool, you'll find some things.
Yeah, but still, even Shaq and a Fool, they do stupid stuff. Don't get me wrong, but that was hilarious. James Harden getting hit so hard in the face. James Harden getting hit that hard and in the face was pretty ridiculous. What happened in the game?
Well, the Bucks won. Despite James Harden's 42 points he put up and 11 rebounds, the Rockets fall to the Bucks 116-119. Partially thanks to Giannis, who had 27 points and 21 rebounds. Just a monstrous performance from him. And shot one. He actually shot a 3-point attempt.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing he definitely needs to work on is his free throws. He went 11 of 14. I know that's still pretty good, but
whoa. Who needs to work on their free throws?
No, I'm just saying 11 of 14. You should make all of them, shouldn't you?
No, absolutely not.
Missing 3 is kind of a lot, isn't it?
How many? Are you talking about Harden?
No. Giannis.
I mean, 11 out of 14. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. I would if you miss 1, that's okay. 3, that could have been very crucial, is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, absolutely, but every team misses free throws every game, right?
Yeah, it's just though. That's your job. I mean, you're a professional basketball player. Shouldn't you be draining
11 out of
those?
14 is 79%.
Yeah, that's pretty low.
It's above the average, though.
Yeah, Harden went 10 of 11. I'm not saying he needs to work on that.
Yeah, I mean, I get it what you're saying, but it's not like the guy shot like 50% from the line.
Austin Rivers, though, 13 points for him. He's been playing pretty well since he got signed.
Mm-hmm.
And no one on Harden's team went over 20 points, except for him, of course.
No one also shot more
How
than
long
13
is Chris
times.
Paul out for?
I don't know at this point. He seems like he's always hurt.
Yeah, and Nene was out. Okay, it's really funny because on the box score, you still see Carmelo Anthony's name.
Yeah, why is that?
And Marquise Chris's name, which I'm pretty sure he's no longer on that team anymore.
No, Chris
either.
is there.
He's there? I
Yeah,
thought he got
just
traded.
got a DNP last night.
That's right. Yeah. Carmelo Anthony, do you think he'll be signed before All-Star break?
I don't know, man. I feel like I don't even know what he does to help a team.
Ooh, that's kind of harsh.
I mean, he hasn't helped a team win in a long, long time. I don't think that's harsh at all. It's just facts. Like, when has he won? The Rockets got immediately better when he left the team. Like, that's noticeable, right?
Man, you just bashing him. Got any more to say about Carmelo Anthony? You want to do a rant?
No, absolutely not.
Aww.
Everybody knows he's one of the most overrated players in basketball history. I mean, I don't think that's a hot take, right?
Yeah.
He's lost a lot of basketball games to be considered a superstar or a star in the NBA.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, looking at this game, does this show that the Bucks can beat the elite teams in the West?
Well, the Bucks have already beaten the Warriors. They've only lost 11 games. They can beat anybody.
Can they beat a West team in an 8-game series?
8 games,
7-game series. Sorry, excuse me. 7-game series.
If it's the Warriors, no. If it's Rockets, maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't think any team's beating the Warriors. But if there is one team that I think gives the Warriors the most problems out of the East, it would definitely be Toronto, not Milwaukee. Just because I think they're just a little bit better than Milwaukee, and Kawhi Leonard, I think, is a little bit more polished at this point than Giannis is. Not that Giannis isn't an absolute beast and one of the top MVP candidates in the league right now. I just worry about Giannis in the playoffs and in situations where the games are on the line, like in terms of a 7-game series. I worry about him being able to score and lead his team to wins when defenses are focusing on not letting him get into the paint.
Yeah. He definitely needs work throughout. He has excelled at the main parts of his game for his position, for sure. But nowadays, you have to adapt to the most crucial. Well, there was talk of a 4-point shot being made into the NBA, so maybe you need to work on a 3-point shot, and then you can be a 4-point shooter.
I really like the team that Milwaukee has, though. They really have a strong team. Lopez in the offseason was a big signing for me. Middleton is
that was great. Really under the radar when that happened too.
Oh yeah,
no one
it's
took
been
that.
One of the best offseason moves.
Mm-hmm.
You could argue it's other than like the big names. I mean, obviously LeBron to the Lakers is probably the best move of free agency, but other than the obvious choices, Brook Lopez got to be up there with one of the underrated moves that's really helped a team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they have a good team. Milwaukee has a good team. You know, they have a guy like Ilyasova off the bench. They have decent players. My thing with them is that I don't know if they're better than Toronto, and I would still give the edge to Toronto as the best team in the East. What about you?
That's really hard to say. How they lost to San Antonio, I know San Antonio's on a hot streak and all that good stuff. But I have to say, maybe the Bucks. If you had to put money on a 7-game series, I might have to go Bucks over Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be a very close series.
Yeah, absolutely.
These two teams are so even.
Right now, they definitely look like the best too.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Milwaukee's half a game up on Toronto in terms of the overall standings. They're the overall number 1 team at this moment in time at 29-11. Toronto's at 31-12. So We'll see after Milwaukee catches up in the total number of games if they have the best record. But as of right now, they do have the highest win percentage.
Yes, they do.
So other games happened last night that we should probably talk about a little bit. Grizzlies won. They beat the Spurs. That's a good win to get maybe back on track, but at least a good start.
Yes, absolutely.
You see the Gasol brothers playing against each other?
Yes.
That was
sure.
interesting.
Yeah, they threw things. I'm kidding. I was gonna say they threw things at each other, but
I
no.
saw Marc Gasol get the better of Powell a couple times, including a fall-away jump shot. 26 and 14 for Marc Gasol. So
who's the better brother?
At this point, Marc Gasol for sure.
Yeah.
Powell was the better one overall, though, right?
Powell, career-wise,
prime, yeah.
yeah.
It's interesting they got traded for each other.
Isn't that weird? And like, what are the odds of that happening? Like, two brothers get traded.
It is weird.
Like, that probably won't happen again, huh? A trade happening where both brothers switch teams?
Probably not. I would agree with that.
And, of course, Pau Gasol is coming off the bench nowadays, so compared to him to Mark.
He's back, though. He's healthy, so we'll see what happens.
We both know his best days are way behind him.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. He's still such a good player, though. Look, last night, 12 rebounds in 20 minutes. Give me that all day. I'll take that all day.
Do you remember we had that talk about Garrett Temple and Armory Caspi having that little
tiff?
Splat? Yeah. And this game, Garrett Temple, who's usually a pretty good shooter, 2 points in 27 minutes. 1 of 6 throughout the game. 0 for 4 from the 3.
Yeah, I mean, he's not, in there to score, but that is weird. But
27 minutes, you're in there for only 2 points, and you're the shooting guard.
And they still won by 10, surprisingly enough.
And just for purposes, Caspi had 4 points in 17 minutes, so not as good either.
They're landing more punches than shots, it looks like.
Ooh, wait, did they throw punches?
I don't know. There was physical altercation, so I'm just assuming.
I just heard it was an altercation. I didn't know if it was violence.
Anyways, we got to go to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the NBA midseason awards. But first, before we do that, I want to talk to you a little bit about audiobooks. Audiobooks inspires us, motivates us, and brings us closer. I listen to them when I'm driving in the car, when I'm running errands around town. Sometimes I like to listen to music, but a lot of times I like to just relax and listen to an audiobook. There's no better place to do that than with Audible. Audible has the largest selection of audiobooks on the planet, and now Audible members get more than ever before. Each month, you get 3 titles of your choice, 1 audiobook, 2 Audible originals, and fitness programs that you can't get anywhere else. There's never been a better time to experience Audible. Try it for free for 30 days by visiting audible.com/GSMC book, or get out your smartphone and text the code GSMC book to 500-500 today. Again, start that today for your 30-day free trial.
What happens to your decision-making when you drink? Well, after one drink, you feel confident. A few more, and calling your ex at 1 a.m. seems like a great idea. And you're pretty sure the secret to a great taco is 4-day-old macaroni. The bottom line, drunk you doesn't make great decisions. So you're risking a DUI or worse if you count on him to get you home. Plan before you party. Get home safe. Brought to you by Washington.
Welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast. It is now time for our mid-season awards. What's the first award? We should do MVP last.
Okay.
Should we do that last or first?
You can do whatever you want.
Let's go last. Let's go.
What award would you like to talk about first?
We can go with any award. That's just besides MVP. Let's go offensive. I almost did NFL style. Let's go Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
I think we both have the same one, Luka. Yeah.
I don't think it's close at this point. If there's a player that could win Rookie of the Year at this point, other than Luka Doncic, that you can kind of see maybe having a big second half, who would that be?
a big second half.
Yeah, what's the one player that you can see kind of taking that award from Luka?
I mean, the best I can think of is DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, maybe. Probably not, though, because of the team.
Yeah, but...
What about, Jaren Jackson Jr., who's had a pretty good season, and he's on the Grizzlies? They might make the playoffs.
He's very under the radar, though. That's why I was thinking about him.
He was a 3 pick, right? Number 3 or number 4?
Luka was 3rd.
Luka was 3rd and then traded, so Jaren Jackson was 4, I think. Okay.
So he's still the 3rd pick.
Right.
So, I don't know, but he's not like, I'm thinking this has also got to look at who's in the media more and stuff like that. And you know what I'm saying?
Luka is number 2 in successful step back 3-point shots made. Number 2
1.
behind Harden.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so we agree on Luka. How about Coach of the Year?
I'll let you go first.
This one was really hard for me. Came down to 2. Man, actually, there's 3. I feel like there's 3 that have set themselves apart.
Name the
But I'm going to go with Nick Nurse for the Toronto Raptors because,
okay.
Yes, he inherited a good team. Yes, they got Kawhi Leonard, but he's also changed the team too.
Yeah.
He has changed the team. Siakam has gotten a lot better under him and been inserted in the starting lineup. I think even Lowry is playing better. I just think that overall that team is well coached. I know that they were good last year, so some people might take that away from him. Who would you say?
I was hesitating him and this guy who I picked. He was Coach of the Year in 2015.
Budenholzer?
Yeah, Mike Budenholzer.
From the Bucks.
Yeah, I looked at the name. I was like, am I going to say this right? But yeah.
What about Mike Malone? How is he not on there, right? One of us probably should have picked Mike Malone. Number 1 in the Western Conference, Mike Malone.
Yeah, I was hesitant.
And they're doing it differently than everybody else because their center kind of runs the offense. They're doing it their own way. It is interesting.
But I just have to look at, the Bucks have just... I know they came out of nowhere. It's not the right word, but just, as soon as Giannis became who he is, went into his got comfortable with where he is and what he's doing, this team has been borderline unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
And how he's running that offense and around Giannis is perfection.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I think those
but
three.
But Mike Malone is a close second.
Yeah, he's got to be up there. He would win if this was broken up in 2 conferences. He'd win the West.
Oh, 100%. And the East would be the toughest one to pick.
All right. What's the next award you want to talk about?
I guess we can go 6th man of the year.
Okay.
Who do you got?
I have Sabonis from Indiana.
Okay.
I mean, he off the bench is averaging 15 points and 10 rebounds. He's doing it in 25 minutes. He has a plus 4.6 as a reserve in plus minus, which is incredible. You know, he doesn't get a lot of recognition as some of these other bigger name players. He does it really under the radar, but he, for me, is one of the reasons why Indiana is such a good team. He kind of signifies the whole team, where they have a lot of guys who are just good players, above average players. They don't get a lot of respect because they don't really have, they're the
R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me.
But they, I think he has to be the 6th man right now.
Okay. Well, I agree with you, but I also will point out that it's really tough to say this, but Michael Beasley for LA.
Really?
He's been playing pretty well. He had 19 points the other game.
What is his averages on the season, though?
I believe it's in the double digits. That's why.
Can you look it up? Because I don't even think I'd never even considered him. I'm curious to see what his numbers are.
Okay.
I think Lou Williams up there and Harrell from the Clippers. They got 2 guys. Even Dwayne Wade is up there.
Would you put Jaylen Brown up there? Because he was off the bench the other day.
I don't know.
Well, Gordon Howard.
What is Michael Beasley?
Hayward.
Does he even play?
Yes.
Really?
Don't judge me.
No, I'm asking an obvious, it's an honest question. What are his numbers? I mean, I think he plays every once in a while, but I don't know.
He averages around 10 to 15 minutes a game.
Yeah, he's averaging 6 points and 1 rebound. He can't win 6-man.
All right. Well, he played well yesterday, so he might be moving up there.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. All right. What's next? Defensive Player of the Year.
I'm gonna pick Kawhi.
Kawhi is definitely up there. I have Paul George a little bit higher.
Yeah, but I just think Kawhi, that's you know why he gets so many points, because he does it off turnovers.
So the Thunder have the best defensive efficiency in the league right now, and George is their best wing defender. He is high up there in terms of a lot of the defensive stats, including defensive win shares. He usually guards the best player of the other team, so I like him this year. I think he's having a even better season than before.
Okay.
You got Kawhi?
Yeah, I can't deny how good he is on the defensive side.
Yeah, he's always one of the best.
Yeah. What's next? What else do we got?
So we've done rookie, we've done coach, we've done defensive player, we've done 6-man. How about most improved player? And then we'll do MVP.
That is between Derrick Rose and De'Aaron Fox for me. I'm going to pick Derrick Rose. That 50-point performance, and he's had multiple points like in the 30s and even in the 40s, and you got to put that into perspective. So I'm going to go Derrick Rose.
For me, it's De'Aaron Fox. Second is Siakam, and then probably Derrick Rose after that. Talked a little bit about Siakam from Toronto. He's just having an incredible season. I mean, his three-point shot came out of nowhere, which is crazy. He's averaging 15 points, shooting 58%. That's up from 7 points last year. Defensively, athletic. He's long. He can guard a lot of positions. He kind of just came out of nowhere for me. I mean, he went from really a rotation player, a guy that possibly could help off the bench, but no, he's a starter and a solid starter, a good starter for one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NBA. Derrick Rose is interesting, but
he came off from being completely irrelevant to...
He is interesting. Last year, he only averaged 6 points and 1 rebound a game, and now he's averaging 19 and 2. The argument with Derrick Rose is, can he be most improved? Because he has averaged for many seasons before at least 18 points. He has many seasons under his belt.
But there's been multiple seasons where he's been...
The last 2 seasons, or 2016, his numbers were better in 2016 than they are today. Last year, his numbers were just down. He didn't play very many games, though, and he played 25.
Yeah, but now he's been playing a little... I know he's been out for a little bit.
But would you give him that award knowing that in 2016 he was just as good as he is now? Last year he just didn't play, like he was hurt.
I know. There are some single-game performances that he has that are beating a lot of other guys around. So I got to give that to him.
Yeah. He's kind of a untraditional most improved. I've never heard of a guy winning MVP and then winning most improved, at least in that order. Not that to say that he's not deserving. It would just be incredible. I would be absolutely shocked if he won, to be honest with you.
Absolutely shocked.
Yeah, I would be absolutely shocked if Derrick Rose won most improved, because I don't think that voters are going to consider him as they would consider a guy like Fox or Siakam, who are more traditional most improved players. Like, they just actually have gotten better than years before, whereas Rose has gone up, top of the iceberg, one MVP, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and then boom, today. Like, it's kind of a weird roller coaster, but we'll see. Who knows what?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Plus we have another half of the season to go through, so who knows what's going to go down.
Mm-hmm. He's also missed the last 8 games he hasn't played for Minnesota.
I knew that going. That's why I was
That's
debating.
That's going to be difficult. If he can't stay healthy, then he won't win this award. So he needs to get back and make sure that he can survive this.
I was just saying this as the performances he has, though, have been amazing.
Also, coaching change could affect him, because Thibodeau was his guy. Like, Thibodeau loves Derrick Rose.
That is true.
So I wonder what his minutes will look like, because he's averaging 30 minutes a game. If he drops that by 5 minutes, I don't think he has a chance, Like, it is an interesting dynamic.
I think when he's come back, his minutes are going to go down, but they're going to rise up again. because he's
possibly. So I guess we have one left.
And
That's
this is where
MVP.
Yes, we do. I'll let you go first on
I
this
mean, you
one.
know what I'm going to say.
You're going to say...
I don't think it's close, to be completely honest. At
I know,
this moment in
I
time.
know. Josh Hart. I got it.
Josh Hart?
Yeah. Right?
No,
I'm kidding before anyone else comments.
I was thinking more along the lines of, I don't know, Joe Ingles. Joe Ingles really
Did you just
underrated
knock
player.
on wood?
No. Joe Ingles is a really underrated player, but no, he was not the MVP. The MVP, hands down, no question. If you say another name, I'll fight you. It's James Harden.
Bring it. I'm going to say another
James
name.
Harden. It just is. You can hate him all you want, but
I don't
he's
hate
the
him,
MVP.
but I just disagree with him.
You don't like him. I know that.
It's not like
Do you
I
like
hate him.
You don't like him. That's
I'm in
obvious.
between. I don't like him or I don't hate him. I just am impressed by his performances sometimes, but I think some people give him too much credit for performances.
Too much credit. See, you don't
Well,
like him.
I never said that. You're accusing me. That's
I am
slander.
accusing-
That's slander.
I am accusing you because I said, do you like him? And you went,
I said I don't like him and I don't hate him. I can't say I like him and I can't say I hate him.
Yeah, but you're not neutral on him. You don't.
I'm
you don't like him.
absolutely neutral.
You're a little biased against him. Come on.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Journalistic integrity.
Yeah. That can be a slippery slope, right?
Yeah, but you can't like say, "Oh, I have proof that you hate him."
I just know that you don't like him.
Yeah, I have a dartboard with his face on. No, I don't, by the way. But no,
I'm not saying he's
I'm
your
in
most
between
hated
them.
athlete, but I know you don't like him. Like, I know you don't like the guy.
Well, I'm always the devil's advocate when it comes, because you're always praising him. I got to be on the
Like,
opposite
you're
spectrum.
a fan of Giannis, but you're not really a fan of Harden. I get it. And that's
I'm
fine.
more of a fan. I'll be honest. I'm more of a fan of Giannis than I am of Harden.
Me too. Me
Yeah.
too.
And I got to put. You know, I was also thinking about Kawhi as MVP too. That's what I was also debating that, because he's playing extremely well.
He's up there.
He's probably the main.
Paul George is up there too.
Let's be honest. He's the main reason how good. That's why the Toronto Raptors are so good right now.
So who do you got?
It was a tie between Kawhi and Giannis, but I gotta go Giannis. He's borderline unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
Like last game against a pretty good team, 27 points, 21 rebounds. Like that's him single-handedly just taking the game. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying, but
Like
this pace that Harden is on is like unprecedented.
Yeah, but as a most valuable player to a team and how good the Bucks are, Giannis is the most valuable.
Who has a better team around them, the Bucks or the Rockets, in terms of Giannis and Harden? Who has a better supporting cast?
That's actually really hard to say. I know people are going to say the Bucks, but
the Rockets without Chris Paul.
That's what I was about to mention.
And
If
they're
you
really like always out
if
without him.
If you're adding Chris Paul to that, then I have to give it to more Harden, because Chris Paul's one of the best point guards in the league still, even when he comes off injured.
Last 15 games, the Rockets are 12-3, 39 points, 40% three-point shooting, 9 assists, 6 rebounds. That is like, I don't know how long he's going to be able to do this for, but he's on pace to break like every single record that he set for 3 points attempted last year, 3 points made. If he can shoot 40%, holy crap.
I always thought this. Could you imagine if the Thunder paid Harden what he wanted and kept those three guys?
They chose to keep Ibaka over Harden.
It was because of the luxury tax.
Well, they chose to pay Ibaka and not Harden.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they're... It wasn't about the money at the time. At the time, they literally thought their core three was going to be Durant, Westbrook, and Ibaka. And Ibaka's a good player, but they definitely missed.
They would have multiple championships, huh?
Oh, yeah. If those three were together for...
another couple of years?
Because Harden didn't come into his own until after he was traded. But if they had the Harden now plus the Durant they had then and the Westbrook they had then, oh, yeah. They beat the Warriors 3 years in a row, minimum.
Three-peat champions?
Probably.
Would they beat LeBron 3 years in a row?
If you win, yeah, absolutely. Because Durant and LeBron almost cancel each other out, and then you got to deal with Westbrook and James Harden. I mean,
well, okay, he was on
so
the
crazy.
Heat during his run, so you got to think of Wade and Bosch in there too. Don't forget them. And Wade was at...
But the 3 years was Cleveland, right? The 3 years that Golden State won,
I wasn't talking about that time. I was talking about if they went the next year. Because the next year after Harden went to the Rockets, that's when he became that player we see him now. That's why I'm adding.
I don't really think it's much of a difference. I don't think that the Heat teams with the Wade and Bosch would have beat those Thunder teams.
I'm just saying it would have been maybe a little closer than like.
But definitely the Cleveland teams are not winning over that team.
Maybe once because we saw.
Those are three. Like Harden, Durant, and Westbrook all became 3 of the top 5 NBA players at one time. Like at one moment for a couple of years,
and
they
were
all
on
the
the same team.
Right.
It's a shame, really. It's a shame we didn't get to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not a fan of super teams, but this isn't like a super team when you drafted those 3 guys. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's different if you get these guys off, if you pay everybody. If you got them all in the draft, then that means you built this team yourself. You deserve that super team. That's just how I see it.
So, you have Giannis or Kawhi?
Yeah. I definitely...
Harden third?
Harden is a close... He's in there, too. Like, if I had to I could do this a 3-way tie, to be honest with you.
What about Jokic? He's an interesting name.
I have
Paul
to leave.
George.
Paul George is definitely up there, but I have to leave them out because of those
LeBron.
3. LeBron's been out for a little bit with his knee, and I know he came back and all, but I don't know.
Which player do you think will have the best? Who can win the MVP who's not in your top 3 right now?
Probably LeBron.
Yeah.
Maybe Curry or Durant.
Maybe Paul George, too.
Paul George, yeah. Maybe
Curry and Durant kind of hurt each other. That's at least the theory, but they've played on each other's teams before where there's an MVP from that team. So, I mean, who knows?
And there's also kind of a popularity to it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So that's why I put Curry and Durant up there.
If Harden continues to play at 85% of what he's been doing the last 15 games, will anybody have a chance?
Giannis, I would say, and Kawhi. I'd still put them up there.
But if Harden continues to, score 35 points a game,
yeah,
he's averaging 40 points a game the last 15. That's half the season.
He's averaging 40 through the last 15.
Yeah, Harden's last 15 games.
Not bad.
He's averaging 40, 9 assists, 6 rebounds, and he's shooting 40% from 3, which is incredible.
Who else is on that team, by the way, that he can give the ball to?
Capella scores a little bit.
PJ Park. Yeah. PJ Tucker. I'm kidding about that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But those are our awards. They're pretty much roughly around the same. We were agreeing on most of them. But we're going to take a little break. When we come back, we'll talk about other things in the NBA. We'll talk about our power rankings. But first, let me tell you about Audible. Audible, listening to audiobooks because of Audible inspires us, motivates us, even brings us closer. And there's no better place to listen than Audible. Audible has the largest selection of audiobooks on the planet, and now Audible members get more than ever before. Each month, they get 3 titles of their choice. 1 audiobook, 2 Audible originals, fitness programs they can't get anywhere else, and there's never been a better time to experience Audible now. Try it free for 30 days by visiting audible.com/GSMCbook or by texting the code GSMCbook to 500500. Remember, you want to get this Audible free for 30 days? Go to audible.com/GSMCbook or text the code GSMCbook to 500500.
What happens to your decision-making when you drink? Well, after one drink, you feel confident. A few more, and calling your ex at 1 a.m. seems like a great idea. And you're pretty sure the secret to a great taco is 4-day-old macaroni. The bottom line, drunk you doesn't make great decisions. So you're risking a DUI or worse if you count on him to get you home. Plan before you party. Get home safe. Brought to you by Washington.
Welcome back, everyone, to the GSMC Basketball Podcast. We just finished up with our mid-season awards. Now, let's move on to our power rankings. We'll start from 5 up. So who's your fifth?
OKC.
Really? They're not
Yeah.
on my list.
Absolutely. I feel like they have a MVP contender, Russell Westbrook.
You're
back
really high
to-
on Paul George, aren't you?
I mean, I don't.
Mark and Paul sitting in a tree.
Man, come on. You always do that.
K-I-S-S-I-N. I've done it twice.
You don't have to keep going back to the same old tricks every time. You know?
That was legitimately the second time I've ever done that.
Today.
Not today. I didn't today
no,
at
it
all.
was this morning. Yeah.
Was it?
Yes.
I didn't remember.
Anyways, man, Paul George is a beast. He's playing at the best rate.
Paul sitting.
Come on, man.
Yeah, okay, continue.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Or are you still going to be annoying?
Debatable, but continue.
He is playing at the highest level that he's played at in his career. Whether his stats show it or not, he does a lot more than I remember him ever doing. He affects both ends of the court at a crazy level. I think they have two of the top 10 players in the NBA right now, Westbrook and George. The team is getting better and better as the season goes on. They do play in the West, so there are teams ahead of them in the standings that are not on my list. But yeah, I think that they are one of the top 5 best teams in the NBA.
Okay. Well, my number 5 is also from the West. It's the Houston Rockets. And they've just been on a tear.
Interesting.
Yeah, I told you I'm neutral with Harden, and I like the way he's been playing. I mean, averaging 40 points a game is impressive. Getting triple doubles left and right is impressive. I'm not going to deny his talent, and they've been on a winning streak.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but they lost recently. But I'm saying before that they were doing great.
Yeah, they've won 7 of the last 10.
Yeah, and 70%. Yeah, this team's great. Well, I'm sorry, Harden is a great player. Everyone else just
Do you
hangs
wonder
out.
though? Do you wonder though when Harden, because he won't score 40 every night. I mean, that's,
Of course not.
But when he doesn't,
But Chris
are
Paul's
they
gonna-
still going to be good? Like, are they still going to be this good?
Well, hopefully
This good?
Chris Paul will be in the lineup by that point.
If yeah, that's my worry about the Rockets is that Harden's playing out of his mind, and they're good,
And
but
Harden
they're still
and-
only 6th in the West.
The thing is, Harden's one of those guys that if he's in a slump, he'll try to shoot out of it, and his numbers will plummet when that happens, and that might not be good for the team itself, granted. But I still have him in my top 5 as of right now. Momentum-wise, they're one of the hottest teams in basketball.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Who's your number 4?
Milwaukee.
Wow. Okay, that's really low.
I don't think so. I mean, they have the
Second best record in the NBA.
They have the best record in the NBA.
Or the best, yeah. And you have a number 4?
I do. I don't think they're better than the 3 teams ahead of them at this moment in time. They're a very good team. They're 8-2 in their last 10, which is the best record of any team in the last 10. They are on a 2-game winning streak. They are very impressive. 9.5 point differential, which is, I think that's tops in the NBA. If I recall, it is tops.
So why are they on your...
Because I don't think they're better than the 3 teams ahead of them. It's not anything against them. I don't have the Rockets at all in my top 5. I was going to ask you why the Rockets were in your top 5 because they're 6th in just the Western Conference. I think there's 11 teams ahead of them in record. But
You gotta look at momentum and stuff like that, too.
okay. Well, yeah, Milwaukee's number 4.
Yeah. Okay, my 4 is Golden State.
Yeah, see, I don't think the Bucks are better than the Warriors. That's kind of where we're going to disagree, right?
Yeah, but the Bucks beat the Warriors. So
Sure.
But
Any team could beat anybody on any
yeah,
given night.
of
though.
course. But I mean, the Warriors. I just think they are great. I'm not denying how good they are, and they're probably going to win the championship again. But I think the 3 teams ahead of them have more momentum and just a better overall team than they do because their bench is still lackluster.
So
Very
you think
lackluster.
the Bucks have a better team than the Warriors?
Overall, yes.
That's interesting.
From
But they won't beat the Warriors in a 7-game series? No?
I said it would go to 7.
But the Warriors would win?
Depends on how 7 goes. I'm not going to say yes or no to that.
Come on, man. Who would you bet on in that series?
Nope. Going to leave you on a cliffhanger on that one.
Because you know you don't want to contradict yourself. That's
I'll bet
why.
on the Bucks. I have no problem betting on the Bucks.
All right.
And plus, they would not be the favorite, so I'd win a lot of money.
Yeah, I know they wouldn't be the favorite because they wouldn't
Because
win.
the Warriors are the Warriors. Yeah, whatever. They would win, so shut up.
No, they wouldn't.
Well, we don't know, so we can't say anything.
I mean, we know. You just said earlier the Warriors are probably going to win the championship again, right? So, I mean...
Because that's been our running joke for the whole this whole podcast.
All right, so if you had to bet everything in your bank account on one team to win the championship,
I have nothing
this year,
in my bank account.
Who would you bet on?
For the $20 I have, sure, go Bucks.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you had one team to bet everything that you own on this year, you only could pick one team. It's the one team that you think will be hoisting the trophy at the end of the year. Who will it be?
Well, I got to look at also Vegas odds. So
No. There's no odds. It's all everything you own. You're just betting everything you own.
So doubling it, basically.
Yes.
Give me the Bucks.
Really?
They're going to the finals with a weak Western Conference. I think the Raptors are their biggest challenge, but I think they can get.
You would take the Bucks over to get to the final and win the final.
Yes.
Wow.
I would not. As of right now, I wouldn't hesitate that.
Okay. I have Denver as my number 3.
They're my number 3 also.
I mean, best record in the West. Do I think they're better than the Warriors? I don't. But we have to look at what they're doing, and they are interesting to me because they play a different style. They play a different style. So they are interesting to me because no, I don't think they'll beat the Warriors. But do I think they could give them some problems that the Warriors have not seen? Absolutely. And I still stand by this. Denver's a tough place to play because of the altitude. It just is. Okay,
hear me out. If they have a 7-game series in Denver, home court advantage, do you give the advantage to Denver in that?
At this point, I still take the Warriors.
It would be a close game. But
I think that the home court advantage would make a bigger difference in that series than pretty much any other series.
Because I think Curry and Durant and Green and Thompson, and when DeMarcus comes back, will... I know. Well, DeMarcus is coming off an Achilles injury, so I'm not thinking he's going to come at his full potential.
But even if he comes back at 3 quarters, that's the best starting 5 ever made.
Yeah. But that's all right, whatever. Anyways, I would definitely say the fact that those guys would get out of breath extremely quickly. The altitude, dude, it hits a lot.
The Warriors
play
at a super fast tempo, though. I mean,
and that's the problem.
The Warriors
when it's at a high
suited,
altitude.
The Warriors are more suited to play in Denver than probably every other team in the NBA. Except for maybe 1 or 2, but of the playoff teams. I mean, the Warriors can run with the best of them, right?
Of course they can.
Even Denver might not want to run with the Warriors at Denver. They might want to slow things down there. But yeah. So you have Denver number 3.
Well, we were talking about All-Star games and stuff. The update just happened, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay, but number 2, who do you have?
The Raptors.
All right. I have... Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just saying how this team has just been... Kawhi Leonard's been playing the best basketball he's ever played. I don't think we can deny that.
Kawhi Leonard is special.
Yes, there is something special about him that... There's something I don't know where it came from too. San Diego State, no one really he was kind of under the radar until that NBA Finals where he won MVP, and then all of a sudden he just became this amazing, not just defensive but overall basketball player. So he's definitely the guy who's just been launching his team into another millennia.
Number 2, I have Golden State.
Okay,
not number 1.
So your number 1 is Toronto.
It is Toronto. I would say that. Toronto is the one team in the East that I think could beat the Warriors. I don't think that the Bucks would have a chance in hell against the Warriors, and I say that because they can't shoot the 3. And their best player can't shoot the 3. And I'm sorry, you can't beat the Warriors and not hit 3s. You just can't, right? Could any team beat the Warriors and not shoot 3s at a good rate?
Well, I guess we'll see when it comes to, if this finals does happen, I guess we'll see.
I think Toronto's better equipped to playing the Warriors in terms of athleticism.
But I think you also have to look at the crucial fact of, when it comes down to it, can anyone stop Giannis down low?
Kawhi can. You picked as the defensive player of the year. So
I'm not denying how good Kawhi is, but I think if the Bucks get to the finals, I don't think Draymond Green can stop Giannis down low.
Let's go before that.
Okay.
Kawhi versus Giannis.
That would be a very fun game to watch.
See, I would definitely think that Kawhi would win that matchup, though, because he has the capability of scoring in different ways, and he's probably a better defender. Now, does Giannis give him a lot of problems? Absolutely. But
Giannis will still get, I think,
when
20
Kawhi
points.
Leonard knows that Giannis is going to drive to the lane every time, that's easier to defend than somebody who can hit a 3. A guy like Durant is so hard to defend because he can go by you or he can step back. Harden, same way. Playoff basketball is just different, and I think we'll see the Bucks having a little bit of a struggle when it comes to where teams are just letting them shoot from the outside.
Yes,
we will see.
Yeah, but this is Toronto. You can admit this. Toronto versus Milwaukee will be a hell of a matchup.
I think it would be good. Yeah, I mean, those are the best two teams in the
I
East.
would be more interested in any matchup in the West.
Maybe. It would be good. Mm-hmm. All right, we probably need to take a break.
Yes, we should. Well, I haven't said my number one. Obviously, it's the Bucks. But yeah.
Yeah.
But once we come back, we have our second returns of the All-Star voting. We'll see if we agree with these or not. We'll get back there when we return.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
And welcome back to the final segment of the GSMC Basketball Podcast. We just finished talking about the power rankings. Now, we have our second returns for the All-Star voting. Do you want to start East or West?
Either way.
All right, we'll go East first. As the top voters for guards goes, Kyrie Irving has the most with 2.3 million. Below him is Dwayne Wade with 1.1 million, or almost 1.2. And then it goes Kemba, Ben Simmons, Oladipo, Lowry, Levine, Lynn. Jeremy Lin is in this. And Bradley Beal.
Yeah, All-Star voting, I really couldn't care less, to be honest with you, because it's obvious that it's a joke.
Yeah. But do you agree, like, Kyrie Irving number one? Or would you put someone else at number one for the guards-wise?
I mean, the East doesn't have the best guards, so...
Makes sense.
Sure.
Kemba deserves to be up there.
Kemba, yeah.
Ben Simmons,
Lowry deserves to be up there.
Yes, absolutely. Jeremy Lin?
No.
Bradley Beal, I would agree with.
Maybe.
Not a starter, but definitely on there. Number one in the front court, we have Giannis with 2.6 million. I think we both agree on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi, number two,
yep.
Obviously. Joel Embiid, yes. Jason Tatum at 599,000. I can see that.
Sure.
Hey, he's probably him and De'Aaron Fox are the best rookies to come out of that last draft class. I think we could both agree on that one.
I would say so at this point.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler's up there.
Although Donovan Mitchell won.
Yes.
Didn't he win Rookie of the Year?
Yes, he did. But when you're looking in the long term,
I
think these two have a brighter future. Jimmy Butler's up there. I can see that. Blake Griffin, who has had some good games, so I can see that too. Vince Carter is a judgment call at 273,000. Gordon Hayward. I know you're going to have some trouble with that one. You're not agreeing?
It's a popularity contest.
Mm-hmm. And
I mean, I don't agree with a lot of these, but, you know.
Yeah. Well, I just want to... All right, now we're going to the West. Those are the... this is the guards. Obviously, number one, Stephen Curry at 2 million. Derrick Rose at number 2. I understand why, because of his he's having like a comeback tour type of thing. So I kind of get why he's getting all these votes. James Harden at number 3 with 1.6. Your MVP. So he's below Stephen Curry.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that?
I mean, Harden is the best player in basketball right now, but
okay.
It's not about vote. Voting is different. It's all fan votes.
Russell Westbrook's at number 4 with 1.4 million. Klay Thompson is next. Damian Lillard, DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, Devin Booker, and then Chris Paul.
I mean, obviously, Lonzo Ball doesn't belong anywhere near that.
I completely agree.
He can't even be on the court at the end of his own team's games where in crunch time.
Yeah.
So how can he be an all-star?
I don't see Lonzo Ball as an elite guard, let alone a all-star. He should be lucky to be even a starter. But that's just my personal opinion. Everyone can disagree with their own personal opinions. Then we got the front court and the obvious choice
Durant.
LeBron James.
LeBron and then Durant probably.
You're gonna like this, I think. Hallelujah.
Oh yes, Luka's up there.
Luka's $2.2 million, and you like him a lot.
It helps when you have a country to be behind you.
Yes,
because
and he's also a pretty darn good player.
Giannis, Greece is all rooting for him. No, it doesn't. Yeah, he's obviously a good player.
You can obviously use if anyone's haters of these two guys, their country's voting for them, but they're both Giannis and Luka are playing unbelievably well.
Los Angeles is bigger than most countries, and that's why Lonzo's in there.
Yeah, true. Number 3 is Paul George.
Yes.
And then number 4 is Kevin Durant.
I agree. That's a great front court.
Luka, oh yeah. Luka deserves to be up there. He's been playing he's been carrying that Dallas Mavericks team.
I think
I'm a big
getting
fan
rid of
his.
votes, just players who deserve. I think he's one of the top 12 Western Conference players. Yes.
Yeah, I would agree with that. He's been taking that Dallas. All the wins the Mavericks have had, it's been him.
But where's Anthony Davis on that list?
Well, he's right below Kevin Durant at number 5, $1.5 million.
God, that's the Western Conference.
It's a tough conference.
I know that this isn't best players. This is fan voting for an All-Star game. But look how good the West is compared to the East. You just said Anthony Davis is the 5th highest vote getter in the West.
He would be totally number 1 in the East.
He'd probably be behind Giannis.
Behind
and
Giannis.
Maybe Kawhi, but they'd be the 3.
Absolutely. And then you have Steven Adams at number 6 with $1 million.
He's had a really good season.
He's had a really he might we're talking about most improved. He might get that too. Mm-hmm. That's honestly something to look at. And then we have Jokic, the Nuggets all-time guy, 740,000 votes.
He is arguably could get an MVP vote at this point.
Yeah, but
by someone. I mean, he's having that good of a season.
Yeah, he'll get like that 2% of the voting.
Like milk.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree with this one. I'm not sure if you will, but Kuzma is up there.
I mean, he's a decent player, but he shouldn't be in that.
Really? I think he's had a pretty darn good season.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's a star in the making. I think he's got a bright future, but
too early, you're saying?
I mean, look at the guys ahead of him. Who's behind him? Let's put it that way.
Draymond Green.
Yeah, Draymond Green deserves to be higher than Kuzma.
But this one angers me more than any of the others. DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, see,
he hasn't started a game.
He hasn't played. Yeah, he hasn't played at all.
He's gotten ejected more times than he's been playing minutes-wise. He has more ejections than he has minutes in the game. How are people voting for this?
Mm-hmm.
That is so wrong to me.
I agree. Agreed.
That's like I'm getting voted into the NBA All-Star team.
Ball with Fox and replace Kuzma with
replace Cousins.
Drop Kuzma down. Kuzma, I don't think Kuzma should be.
Well, okay. Who are you saying replaces him?
I would say this is interesting. Tobias Harris should be in there for sure. 100%.
He's been playing really well.
He should be in there. Tobias Harris should be one of the top 10 forwards for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's something hard to think about really, but I do agree with you. But the main question is this. We both agree DeMarcus Cousins doesn't deserve anywhere near this list. And yet he is. But what other forward, besides who you just mentioned, would be taking his place?
Other than Harris?
Yeah, because you already have Harris taking Kuzma's spot, so you need one more someone to take Cousins' spot. Would you put Julius Randle in there?
No. Let's see. No, I wouldn't put.
I don't know, because he's had some good games. That's why I asked.
I'd probably put LaMarcus Aldridge in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's had an up and down season.
He's got to be higher than Kuzma. When we're talking about LaMarcus Aldridge, he's might be the best player on the Spurs. What's Kuzma on the Lakers? The third best player? Second best player? The fourth best player? I mean, I don't know. And he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. I like Kuzma.
You can even put Andre Drummond in that list if you wanted to.
Even a guy like Rudy Gobert. Could be up there.
Gobert, he totally should be on the list. I totally forgot.
What about Marc Gasol? Marc Gasol could be up there.
Yes.
There's a few.
I just think having DeMarcus Cousins on this list is wrong. Dead wrong. Like, it's insulting. It's almost insulting to the other players that are working their asses off right now. Like, I can just sit on the bench with an injury and be top of the on the list. And would you? Okay, let me ask you this. We talked about De'Aaron Fox. You said he'd be on the list, and I agree with you. Buddy Hield.
I mean, definitely over Fox or Fox over Ball. I was just thinking point guard, but yeah, if you're talking about guards,
it's just guards.
Hield could be up there. He's averaging like 20 points a game. Great shooting percentage.
Yeah.
One of the top three-point
Is it
shooting
because they're on
percentage.
the
It's him,
Sacramento?
Curry, and Harden.
Yeah. Do you
Him,
think
Curry,
because?
and Harden.
Oh, wait a minute. Take Hield in and put Lin out.
Put who in?
Hield in, Lin out.
Well, it's on the Eastern Conference.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right. I just think.
But
Jeremy
either way.
Lin, yeah. Just take him out and just put a Western guy in because no one else deserves on that list. My lord. I do agree with Devin Booker though.
Yeah, he's good.
He's really good. Would you keep Damian Lillard in?
Yes.
He's had some lulls. Let's be honest.
Lillard is. Yes, I'd keep him in. Yes, 100%.
Derrick Rose, number 2 in the voting.
I mean, he's obviously voted too high. I'm not saying he's
It's
not an
because
all-star.
of that historical 50-point game. I think is what put him over the top.
He's having a very overrated season, but he's having a good season.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
like him. I love his story. I think it's incredible that a guy can.
That's
it would have been easy for a guy like him to walk away from basketball and be so frustrated with it.
He's one of the most. He has the biggest perseverance of anyone else in the league right now. He's persevered.
I don't even know what that means.
Persevered.
Is that like
Persevered.
preferred?
I have a word. I talk bad. My word's no good. But he's you got me all tongue tied. But he has overcame a lot of odds, and that is something you can like look up to as a kid, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think he's up there. But I have nothing but respect for Derrick Rose for what he's gone through and how he came back. I think it's great.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's our show.
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Please tune us on Tuesday for our basketball podcast. But as always, tune us into our sports, our football, our fantasy football, our baseball, our soccer, our cricket. I'm kidding. Podcasts. And we'll see you on Tuesday.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.